What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. I first want to send out my thoughts and prayers to those families out in Afghanistan and to the U.S. soldiers today who lost their lives. But with that being said, to continue forward in the stock market stuff, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And first and foremost, I'd like to send out thoughts and prayers out to those people in Afghanistan, those U.S. soldiers that lost their lives today, especially everybody that is fighting the fight out there. I am a veteran, so for myself, it's hard to watch. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. Before we get started, I'd just like to send out thoughts and prayers to all those people involved in Afghanistan, especially our U.S. soldiers, some of which have lost their lives today. But with that being said, to get back into the stock markets, there's a lot going on. We had a lot of flurry of information coming out this morning. Obviously, everything that was going on in Kabul with the there was two different blasts this morning. There's been a lot of different information coming out later in the day. But not only with that, there was a lot of Fed members coming on talking about tapering early this year, next month. So the combination of those two things this morning kind of led to the bleed off this morning. But being said, there's still a lot of good runs. CRM did very well today. CRM, like I said last night, they crushed earnings. They did pump a little bit, but after the news, after hours, it sold off. But with that being said, CRM selling, like I said, we'll have to see what tomorrow is in store. The whole week has been waiting for this, what Powell will say. The good thing is tomorrow he'll be on at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll get him shortly after open to determine where we go from here. I wouldn't actually be surprised if we gap down, especially with all the news with Afghanistan. Afghanistan stuff, it is very sad to see that, what's going on over there. But compared to the market, it really does not matter unless it is affecting any kind of supply and causing any supply issues in the economy. So it's not going to directly affect the markets. So being said, the market is still holding fairly well. I think a lot of it was anticipation on what is going to be said tomorrow, especially with the Fed members coming out today talking about tapering. Again, a lot of them have talked about tapering, but yet none of these Fed members hold votes for that. So being said, we'll have to see what happens tomorrow with Powell. But the good thing is, again, it will start early and we'll know early what is going on. As far as a watch list, I don't really have a watch list. Going through the stocks, I did go through all the stocks, and primarily it's all the ones I do have or FANG stocks. Primarily Tesla, it's on daily support. Everything is sitting on daily support. Aapl sitting on daily support. Facebook can come down a little bit for its daily support again. Snap it's actually broken daily support. It's actually coming down a little bit more. Snap is something I want to look at that 70 mark tomorrow, depending on how the market reacts, because you're going to get what Powell is saying. I'm not sure how long Powell will be on. I'm sure it wouldn't be any longer than probably 45 minutes, maybe even longer. But being said, the major questions are going to be asked. And then from that point, there's going to be a lot of volatility tomorrow. So just expect that. That is exactly what's going to happen. We'll let the market digest what's going on a little bit beforehand and then plan accordingly. Till then, I wouldn't go into the weekend holding anything, only because of the fact whatever information is given tomorrow, it's going to be digested. And then bigger moves will happen on Monday. So that being said, Microsoft is actually, it's got a ways to get back to support. So you got a couple of them. Amazon looks actually really good. If the market does do well tomorrow, if the good information tomorrow, nothing changes, Amazon, I think, could rip tomorrow. Same with Shop. Shop is at support. As long as everything goes well tomorrow, I think you can see Shop flying as well. Googl, another one, has some room to come down, but if the market does well, I can see Googl flying as well tomorrow. I can see a lot of these flying tomorrow. I actually took a position in a very good food company. It's a stock that I talked about before. It has had some troubles. Again, around that February time period, everything was pushing nice and hard. A lot of the mid caps, it's kind of just died off. It's kind of been forgotten about. But it has broken out of the wedge, and it looks like it's hit support. Did a retest, going back in. So I am in shares in that. That is the only other thing I'm holding, and this is for a longer, going into the end of the year kind of play. So it's no huge position, but I do have a position in it. But being said, everything else, Roblox is coming down against support at that 83 mark. But if something does change, this is something to keep in mind. I know this is more of a state of the market kind of video because that's essentially where we're at. The market is waiting to see what Powell will say. If Powell does change his mind, I do expect a pretty heavy pullback from that point. So you can't play just long on this. I think what's going to happen is if for some reason it changes, his tone changes, then it could be very well pull back very hard, although everything is pointing not for that to happen. Again, you can't bet on that until after the fact. So being said, going in tomorrow is extremely important. And again, you will need digestion going into this weekend. And then again, Monday will give us a better understanding once the dust settles of where we're at and where we're going. And again, we are coming into September. So that is something else to keep in mind on what to see, because September, I believe, is a slower month. And being said, especially going into Labor Day weekend, the market likes to pull back then. So just be well aware of that. We are at a lot of highs. So starting to see some selling is good, in my opinion. I would like a little bit more selling before we go into the holiday and try to capitalize on that particular run. That way we can load up on some of these good stocks going into then. But being said, this market, this video doesn't need to be too long because of the fact everything is, again, wait to see what Powell says and react after the fact, let it digest a little bit. You're going to get a lot of pushing and pulling, just like we have been. The moves will be a lot more dramatic tomorrow. Everybody's going to be waiting on every single word that comes out of Mr. Powell's mouth. So just be well aware of that. But if you've made it this far, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.